What's going on, y'all? Another week, another geek. We're back at it with another episode of the Wild on Geek Show with your homies AJ and Chrissy. Like today, it's another Agatha episode, part 2. But this is the full review. Last time we did a mid-season recap, and it's time to finish this thing off, man. It was a longer show than I was expecting. We got 9 episodes. The last one snuck up on me. But we're here now. Chris, how you feeling today, Brody?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. Election day, feeling very political.
Boy, suited and booted.
Yep, we suited up. Already voted, early day voted, but we got a long night ahead of us, but we're not gonna miss a podcast. How you doing, G?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. Ready to get this thing started. Literally just finished episode 9 because I thought it was only 8 like 30 minutes ago. So it's fresh on my mind. You know what I'm saying?
Dang,
I definitely took my time with this series, not because it wasn't like good or anything, but just more so because it was like I knew I had time. You know, like there was a lot of stuff going on. But let's just jump right into it, bro. It was Agatha All Along, but really it wasn't.
Yeah, a nice little twist.
They hoodwinked us, bro. How are you feeling about the show just overall? And then like, I don't want to get directly into the twist because we stopped mid-season, but let's just start there. Like, what's your overall thoughts so far?
I want to give Disney Plus some credit. This is the first time where I felt like they did another solid entry. Not really like the home run of like Loki or like, oh my God, this is like a mini movie of a Marvel show. But it definitely feels like a good show, well worth it. And I appreciate that it feels like they gave it some thought. I felt like every episode ended up leading up to something, came back full circle. Multiple characters had full circle moments. Maybe some characters didn't get enough burn. But overall, as a show, especially for a side character, villain, overall, I thought they did a really good job. And it makes me think, when you have good writers, competent writers, you can actually make anything, as much as Agatha All Along, come out to be pretty solid. So that's my overall feelings towards Agatha. How about you?
Yeah, they had me in the first half, bro. I ain't gonna cap. I enjoyed the series, but like certain scenes and stuff, just like, I don't know. I just didn't really have faith that they was gonna bring this joint home, but they definitely did. And it, like you were saying, like it's hard for me to really, because it's still fresh in my mind, it's hard for me to really, like, hopefully it's hard for me to really come out straight with like, okay, like, nah, this, I got a score in mind, and hopefully like during this conversation it'll come clear to me, because at this point, like, they didn't really miss like throughout the episodes, you know what I'm saying, from 1 to 9 to me. It was just more so like the transition from WandaVision to this was just like, all right, we're like, are y'all really going to take it there, or is this just going to be another one of these Marvel, I don't know what you want to call them, spats or whatever, you know? But I enjoyed this joint. Definitely not too spooky for me, but there's definitely some imagery there where I'm just like, oh, like,
they tried.
It's some. I wouldn't recommend this to everybody, you know. But like, if you just want to watch a good show with twists in every episode, this is definitely one for you. Start off, man. I want to give you your credit, bro. Give you your flowers, man. No pun intended. You was right, bro. You was right.
Oh yeah. What's his name?
Teen, aka Billy Maximoff.
Yeah. What was his comic book name?
What do you mean his comic book name? It's like Wonder Boy or something like that, ain't it? It's like Wonder Kid.
Bro, I did not think it was Wonder Boy, but hey,
let me see.
I don't remember right now. I feel
like it was something Wonder.
Yeah.
But yeah, you was right. You called it, bro. I thought that was like too.
What, too safe? Too.
His name is Wiccan. So
Wiccan?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Something with a W. I just thought it was just like they really finna bring Wanda back. You know what I'm saying? Like this. Like it was more so coming from that angle. And I was just like, I don't know if this is how I want to re-experience or reimagine the twins that we grow to know in WandaVision. You know what I'm saying? And it'd be in this way. But once they got down to it, I was like, oh no, this is tough. This boy is strong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This boy is strong.
Yeah.
And like I knew prior, I never read no comics about it, but I watched plenty of videos about his character that he was like OD strong, but like to be this level and be able to show it in this way, I was like, oh yeah, they did him justice for sure. They did him justice. But how do you feel about like just that? I don't know if you want to call it a flip, or like, do you feel like they dragged it out longer than needed, or because there was only really 2 answers, or what? Like, how do you feel about the actual reveal?
The initial reveal of him being Wanda's son?
Yeah, because you know they had the whole episode where they go back in time to see like his full backstory and stuff like that. Like that
after
episode.
the reveal.
Yeah.
I wasn't a big fan of the thing about this show. It had some episodes that were really good and some that were like, eh.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't really a big fan of his specific episode, but it had important elements that led to other scenes in the story.
Thanks.
But his reveal, I thought, was really, really nice. It was really smooth.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, man. It kind of made me the whole time think that maybe this game of who is him, who is he?
Yeah.
And Agatha kind of figuring out and making it feel like she actually already knew.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole time watching like her kind of like poke at him, figure it out, it made me wonder, like, is this on purpose? Is this someone at the end of the road that knows who he is? Or, like, I didn't know what element of how they're going about it would turn out. And ultimately, Agatha did kind of put the pieces together. Yeah. And now that we get the ending, we kind of know how she put the pieces together. Like, right. It makes even more sense how she was so much on, like, who are you and who potentially you could be. And then especially kind of, oh, you're just like your mother or something like that.
Yeah. Or should I say Wanda? Because he has a mother. Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh, y'all gotta relax. Yeah. Yeah, I'm doing too good right now.
So I just thought the reveal was really good, and after finishing the show, it makes it even better because it adds even more context to how we got to that. It's not just like okay, I'm just gonna reveal, or Agatha being like, oh, I knew, I'm just so smart, I guessed it immediately. It's kind of like, oh, there were clearly more hints that as the initial audience you don't know, and now that we do know, we can kind of follow how Agatha comes to this conclusion rather quickly.
Yeah. The sign.
How did you feel about his reveal? Did you think he looked tough?
No, like the
mini crown.
Nah. I was like, oh, he going crazy. Like in the moment, I was like, oh, that's hype. But it was like the mini crown, like, nah.
Yeah, someone was off. I was like
even in his, even in his like the comic book character design was not really like. It seemed like an afterthought. Like he's just like, I need something. I can't be myself. Like I gotta put something together. But I just like, I think for me, it really just solidified how much I enjoyed the actual content loop for this series, because like every episode there's a twist and it always like, eventually falls back into the main theme. And as we continue to progress the story, you get to see more and more of like what's happening in real time from different angles. So it's like, yes, we're here in the moment, but we're also a fly on the wall in different ones as each character is realizing like what's going on, whether you want to talk about Wanda or if you want to talk about the crystal ball lady. So like that rotation and that flip was like very entertaining for me, because I'm like, yo, this is what I like right here. Like I'll be trying to figure out stuff before it happens. And I'm not gonna sit here and say like I figured out everything. I part of one of the reasons why like I wasn't in a rush to finish the series was because I got spoiled um before finishing it. But which is my fault because I didn't take the time to go out and watch it immediately. With Rio's character and being Lady Death and just like how that whole sequence worked itself out, and it was just like so many little nuanced things that I was like, man, like I would watch a scene, I'm like, oh no, that's what happened. Like, oh, it's a kiss of death. Like, oh, that's so cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, not that that's cool, but like the little nuggets that they throw in there with all the things that you either heard from different stories and stuff growing up as a kid or seeing in different pieces of media, like with the what is it, Wizard of Oz and Maleficent and like all the different
All the
witchy
witch
stuff. Yeah, you know. And it's like I don't even watch that stuff, but it's like I know it, you know. So it was
Halloween
like
Town.
yeah. Yep. So Snow White, right?
There's another witch thing that's really famous.
The Snow White apple isn't one of the characters too.
True, Snow White.
Yeah. So it's a lot. There's a lot in this joint to like. On the second watch, I think it'll probably even go more crazy. Okay. Versus like a WandaVision where it's like once the cat's out the bag, it's like, do I need to watch this again?
Yeah.
You know. But I guess now, like, how did you feel about how the show connected those two series, like, as far as like the greater Westview, I guess.
I mean, I loved it. I thought if it's the same director, then they're amazing.
Yeah.
The twist of Billy being able to create the Witch's Road.
Mm-hmm.
The similarities with Wanda when we first watched WandaVision, technically creating Westview,
mm-hmm.
and WandaVision, the whole TV show that we watched.
Yeah.
I just loved how they were able to, in a sense, trick us again and us watch a show in which the character created everything that we were experiencing.
Yeah.
And I just think it's so amazing because WandaVision in itself was so unique where I watched those first 2 episodes and I was like, yo, this is actually trash.
Yeah, I remember that, bro.
I do not know what's happening.
Yeah.
And you only get that experience once, but at least with this one, I 100% agree with you. Like, there is a slight possibility if I watch this again, I kind of feel like I'm coming at it at a different angle. I'm looking at people's expressions differently.
Yeah.
And then even people's sacrifices and deaths, you know, they're also more impactful because we know how it ends. We know it's not as Disney fluff as we're used to, where, you know, this person comes back or this person comes back. So maybe I'll take it more seriously or criticize characters a little bit more as I rewatch episodes. So overall, from this and WandaVision, I just feel like both are standouts in Marvel.
Yeah.
And show how much when you get creative writers in the space, what they can do. Because even with the premise of WandaVision, they were able to say the same thing. Like, hey, this is a TV show created by our character, meant to be what's it like if there's a fly on the wall? Like, how would they feel? Like, what am I watching? What's going on? And this time with Agatha All Along, technically Agatha is also the fly on the wall trying to figure out what the heck is going on. But we didn't even know that. So it's like we're like, we just as confused as viewers. And I just think it's so creative that they were able to do that with 2 shows if it's the same director. But either way, good job, Disney Plus, because I didn't think I'd need this, and it's pretty good.
Yeah. Do you think it sneaks its way into the yearly rotation for spooky season?
So I think if you're into witchy stuff, it's there. Like it's a good enough Disney thing.
You spook man, so that's why I was asking.
Yeah, it's not super scary, and I kind of wish those Witches of the 7 or Witches of the 9, whatever they're called, were
Salem 7, I think.
Salem 7 were a little bit more. Yeah. But when we know that it's all like Billy's imagination or whatever, it's kind of like, okay,
makes more sense.
Yeah. So it doesn't fully get to that full spook factor, but for a Disney Plus show and you want to learn about witches or get your first taste at like witchy stuff, I think it'd be a really good show to watch. And not demonize witches as like we grow up to be, where witches are always evil, corrupt, trying to poison you, kill children, steal children, eat children. You know, it's just
Well,
a different type of witch thing.
I guess was definitely getting bodied, bro.
Oh yeah, Agatha is clearly not a hero, which I do like.
Yeah.
I do like that Disney did not, because the whole framework of this was like, oh, maybe Agatha isn't that bad, you know, and it's like, yo, I'm gonna hear about this woke mob all over again on these podcasts, and Disney said no, she's still a witch. This bad stuff happened, and guess what? This witch's road is just a method used to for her to absorb more power over the years and years and years. Like, yeah, big con, and
yeah.
I appreciate that because Disney's been taking a lot of flack for stuff like this, rewriting dark characters or making them weak.
Yeah.
And this one's not. Like this is still a bad character at the end of the day. Now we get to experience just one little event. Yeah. And it's amazing.
Yeah. I think for the magic sector of Marvel, this was like a huge W. Because now not only do you get like some new blood in Billy, but also his, trusty sidekick, Agatha, the friendly ghost, along with Aubrey Plaza's character in Lady Death, who can now just pop up anywhere that we need her to pop up at. You know what I'm saying? Because I think, granted, like we could talk about this now, like the final quote unquote fight wasn't as final fight as WandaVision was, but it did enough to where it's like I was just more so invested in what was finna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like who was finna make the sacrifice, because like we see everything happen right before our eyes. So we know, like the whole time we're watching this series, you know that there's going to be a flip at some point. You know there's some trick, there's some something that we're missing that is obvious to the person in control and obvious to the person, like, that the thing is being done too. So it's just like how they go about that. They did it in ways that were unique in every scenario, while also not sacrificing like the characters that we not sacrificing the characters, like, I don't want to say essence, but like Agatha didn't portray herself. She was herself the whole time. And because we knew who she was, it made those moments that much more sweeter when it was time to throw down. You know what I'm saying? Because if she just got her power back and was just able to beat death out of nowhere, I'm like, yo, this is not canonically right. And it's also like, what's the point now? You know what I'm saying? There was no loose ends in this series, surprisingly, because with magic there's could be endless possible loose ends, especially when you get into the territory of like Tommy and is Wanda really gone? Like there was plenty of those questions. I was just glad like that they didn't focus so much on Wanda, and Agatha really got to have her own unique series, even though it's like still very connected. So yeah, man. I guess now, so the final episode, man. I know I'm jumping ahead, but it's fresh on my mind. Do you think like we needed that episode 9? Do you think
the full explanation in the past?
Yeah. Like the like, because it was almost, they almost went into the and you know what I mean by this. They almost went into the Demon Slayer realm of trying to make you feel bad for the bad guy.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of that. I want the bad people to be bad. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost jarring, like how like harsh of a cut it is, because of the way episode 8 ends, and it's like, oh, that's the end of the series. You know what I'm saying? Like we won't get the answer to this till whenever. How did you feel about that just that whole episode and the way it went about?
I mean, that's a really good question. I think mainly why I like it, and I think it deserves a lot of praise, is what you said. The previous episode, it ends on a note where we're fighting against Lady Death.
Mm-hmm.
We sort of already know how this would work out anyway, and it can kind of only end one way.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna end with this being it, I'm gonna need a little bit more, because then it's kind of a little bit too anticlimactic, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then to see the last episode, it fits more of a conclusion if that was the real bad guy. Like,
Yeah.
okay, well, let's figure out this whole story of how everything worked. And kind of drops you easy because there is no big bad fight.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes we get accustomed to this Marvel loop of MCU movies feeling the same, or them doing the formula.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're a big...
The Disney Plus formula.
Yeah, Disney Plus formula. And it just feels like they didn't do it this time.
Yeah.
We were getting close there, but it kind of felt like the whole fight. And they're not really showing the fight. It doesn't really look like she could even beat her anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And to get that last episode, it was kind of refreshing, because it's like, yes, this is how shows should be. Like, you don't always have to be the same dang thing.
Yeah.
And to tell the story of how she was already stealing witches' powers, she
how the song was created.
How the song was created. We don't even know if she had to steal witches' powers to keep her son Nicholas alive. You know what I mean? That they didn't even explain that portion. Like, did she specifically need to steal witches' powers? She could have just been like that the whole time.
So she did say that she can't help him with his sickness, because it was a part that where he was like, "I'm hungry," and I was like, "I can't help you with that." Like, but there was a whole goat right there. You know what I'm saying? So she was. It was a way to explain to the audience. It's like, yo, like, there's only so much I could do, but to me, it really set in stone the deal that she made, and initially before the baby was even born, right?
What exactly do you think that deal was?
Well,
just more time.
Yeah. So, like, I think she wasn't supposed to be able to have that baby in the first place.
Yeah.
And because they had a prior relationship, and, you know, they love each other, I guess. She was like, no, this can't, like, and she had pride in the fact that she didn't use anything like magical to create the baby. This was all her. Like, she was like she took pride in that, because her whole life has been, you know, stealing people's magic and doing whatever I need to do with that. And then once, you know, I don't know why she was out there by herself, and that all that stuff, that context doesn't really matter. The only thing that matters is that the fact that it was like Lady Death was there to take the baby, you know, and she was like, don't do it, please. I need more time. And for that sympathy, she was like, all right, I won't do it now, but I'm coming. You know what I'm saying? And when she came back, it was so like, I almost was like very confused because of the way that she has appeared before, which is like made that portion of the episode with the protector, which so much more cool, because like it showed like, all right, when you go, your body stay there, you know what I'm saying, but your soul leaves with her. So like for him to die in the night now, and then like just get taken, he just was with it. He was just like, all right, let's go. You know, I was like, oh man, y'all trying to do it. Y'all trying to make me feel bad for her, bruh. Like, you know, but it's like, you got what, 6-7 years of it, and it still wasn't enough.
And I think that's why I like, because it doesn't seem like they made a deal like, hey, you kill these witches and I'll keep your son your son in this world for as long as I can. Maybe 5 years, maybe 6, who knows. But when I take him in the night, you're not going to complain. You're going to keep doing this. It kind of just felt like that this was Agatha, and Death did arrive, and she just was like,
she did her a solid.
It's more of like a solid. Like. And after her son passes, she just continues on, remembers her son, remembers when she's stealing these witches' powers. Like they used to pull that hoax too. Like it's not
Yep.
It doesn't redeem Agatha as a villain. She's still a villain. She's
Yeah.
always been a villain, and even in this series, technically, she's trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
She got beat by Wanda, and guess what? It's time to get my magic back. It's time to get
Mm-hmm.
power back. And she just has a little bit more realization moments, a sacrifice here. Doesn't redeem her, but
Yeah.
it's just a well written way.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate it because it's not the normal formula. And if they did end it with a big boss battle with death,
Yeah.
and even if they didn't beat death or they did beat death, it would feel more like a Marvel formula and feel more like WandaVision, where it's just kind of like, okay, let's go ahead and do the big battle, boom. Send this Easter egg out for future projects, and then we'll just wait. Like this one kind of
Yeah.
felt different, its own story, clear, concise, and it really ties up a lot of loopholes that could have potentially arise.
Yeah. Yeah. This genre was definitely solid. How do you feel about all the trials though?
I'm not a fan of some of them, and
Yeah.
like I said, I probably you'd make it a good point. If I rewatch it, I probably feel differently about them now.
Mhm.
Because essentially, then we know Agatha is letting these witches die. Like she really don't care. Like
Well, Billy's letting them die.
yeah, but at least Billy doesn't fully
He doesn't
understand.
know.
That
He's
he
not
did it.
conscious of it. Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't
Yeah.
fully understand. But clearly, we know Agatha is playing this game. Like, oh, well, this is the witch's road. But deep down, she's like,
Yeah.
dang. Because it when I first watched like that whole wine drinking episode,
Mhm.
The first trial, I thought, okay, maybe she's done this before,
Yeah.
so she's trying to avoid it. I think I said on the podcast, like she's trying to avoid redoing
Specific things. Yeah.
specific things because she knows what happens, and she's just trying to find a wiggle room out of this.
Mhm.
And you know, sometimes magic, maybe there is no wiggle room. You just have to go through with it. But no, she had no clue, but she was just being extra cautious.
Yeah. She
Like,
knew
yo,
like she knew it was like, yo, this is not how this went before.
exactly, like
Well, because it didn't go before. It was
because
always
it didn't
done
go before, so she was
within
like,
15
yo,
minutes. Yeah. It's like, all
So-
right, somebody finds me, we go find a coven, get my juice. You know what I'm saying? And we move on to the next. Yeah, I thought as gimmicky as the different trials were, I think they slowly progressed to being better and better and better. I think once we got to the swords place, like that's when it actually took a turn for me because we started getting more answer to what's actually going on.
Yeah.
But the ones prior to that, I was just like, all right, we got to suffer through this to get to what we need, you know, because like we've been saying the whole time, this show is just really about like the fact that you know you're getting tricked, but it's like you can't really figure it out. Like
you really can't.
you know, it's just I wish it was a better way to describe like you can't figure it out, but it's like 3 degrees of separation away before you can really understand. Like now that I have the full picture, it's like okay, now this makes way more sense to why things went down the way that they did.
Yeah.
I think for me, like initially, like the first time we saw that Agatha was still living in a fantasy again is what actually got me super excited about the show. When it was like what we were seeing was not what was happening in reality. And the thing that killed me was like when she was doing the interrogation. And when initially the flowers turned in, the crime scene turned, or the body or whatever, I forgot what it was. It turned into flowers. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What the heck is going on? And then we go to that scene and she's walking around with a garden hose on her hip, bruh. And I'm just like, yo, this has got to be insane for the people that she's living with, that she's just some random detective, you know?
Yeah.
Like, she was really living in a full Dome moment, bruh. Like, what are we talking about? But I guess, is there anything else? Do you have any questions about it that you wanted to ask me?
I mean, the main one for you I had, because I couldn't wait for the podcast to ask you. How do you feel about Agatha now being the ghost and being the mentor to like Billy and I guess his future endeavor, Agatha 2, whatever they want to do. How do you feel about her still lingering in like this world, this realm?
I like it. I like it. I hate when they kill characters off that don't need to be killed off. Now, technically, she's dead, right? But she has more power than meets the eye because she was able to pick up the pendant. And it's like there's certain ways that you can do it. Like with Wanda and Dirty Sprite 2, if you're not hip to the lore, that's Doctor Strange 2. Nobody, no crime situation. I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's more about the you know, the mythos and the lore of Wanda. It's like we don't really know where she's at. That makes it cool. You know, but when, you know, the normal Marvel formula where you kill off this character for no reason that could have came back or made a different situation more popular, or you like take for instance Noel, I mean not Noel, but what's the dude from the butcher, or the bad guy from Christian Bale's character in Thor Love and Thunder.
Gore.
The
God Butcher.
The God Butcher. There we go. Like, that performance from Christian Bale was epic, but they wasted on that movie. But he dies in the movie, so we never get to see him again. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are situations where I hate, where it's like not everybody can come back as a friendly ghost. But in this situation where it's a new face and it's a new character that doesn't know anything about the world that he's entering, I think it's perfectly fine for him to have a guide to help him navigate these different situations that he's going to be in. Because it's like, for him to go out and find Tommy, that also might mean he want to go out and find Vision. And then eventually that might mean she wants to go out and find Wanda. So having the snarky, witty, funny Agatha by his side will be fun. I think that's a good look, you know, and it's a perfect way to cap off a series like this. Like, this is what I want from Marvel in these series, is to create these moments that could create bigger ones in the theater. So next time we see Billy Maximoff, it'll mean something, versus being like, oh, that's supposed to be Billy Maximoff's kid. Like nah, like this is Billy Maximoff now. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's less groundwork that somebody has to do if they want to include them in the next Avengers, or Young Avengers, or whatever you want to call it. But I think it's a perfect way to, you know, send them off, I guess. And the way that they was like, let's go find Tommy. I was like, oh, okay. Like, y'all didn't have to do that, but now I know, you know. Now I know where to be, what to be expecting. So I like stuff like that. What about you?
Yeah, I thought it was a little corny the way he was trying to banish her back, and at first,
Yeah.
like there's just a little bit corniness, but I do overall like it. I like the idea that, you know, if we get the show next or they appear somewhere else next, I would at least feel like, you know, she rubbed off some witch stuff. He accelerates his knowledge quicker. You know, having a mentor there, it always makes me feel better. Like where we last picked off, you clearly have to be way stronger. You know, and you was already kind of strong then, but now you harness more. So there's not like this weird disconnect or feeling that like, yeah, that's Wanda's son and he's super strong. Like,
like we don't have to do all that heavy lifting, because now we've seen it. You know,
so if the next season, if he's already out there blasting with magic powers and stuff, like I already feel good.
Yeah,
it's solid.
Yeah, and the other girl named Jen, she survived too, so she flew off somewhere.
Yeah, that was nice.
That's gonna be nice. Like, it's like, oh yeah, let's go. Black lady survived. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, who knows where she's gonna end up now. Yeah, is there anything else?
I don't think so. Not for me.
Yeah, I don't have any more questions really. I guess now, what score would you give it?
I would give it an 8. I was
Mhm.
close to giving it a 9, but it doesn't give me like enough of that feeling like, oh my god, I have to watch every week.
Yeah.
Um, but I would say it's an 8. I think it's a really good watch. I think they wrote it well. The story is clean, concise. I think they have some like 2 or 3 episodes that are really outstanding. Especially that tower one. I think that's one of the best MCU episodes I've seen. Uh, and I just kind of wish they did the Billy reveal episode better or more. I felt like it kind of dragged on a little bit.
Mhm.
But overall, Agatha was great. Agatha All Along threw me off. But we got new characters. I overall think I think they really saved this Disney Plus stuff, or at least they found a
Dang.
director that
What?
yeah, because I feel like
The
this is
whole
the
thing?
tone. Marvel.
Oh, okay.
Uh, because I think they found the tone at which this is like the standard what they need. Like if they can produce content like this,
Mhm.
where it's a solid story, you don't go too crazy. You don't always feel like, oh, this is gonna lead into a next movie or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, I think they'd have a good range.
Mhm.
Sometimes I do feel like like uh, She-Hulk, was it Echo?
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's just slightly below the level of quality that it needs to be at a show. And
Mhm.
if you just get it punchier, tighter, you have good characters.
Yeah.
And this one, I just feel like all the characters are really good. Could some of the witches have got more burn? Yup. Storyline is concise. And then you at least get Lady Death in there that we kind of know what she
That
looks
skull
like. We don't.
thing was cool.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like if they do want to introduce her as just like an aspect, a guide in the future,
Entity.
we already, yeah, an entity. We already have seen her.
Yeah.
So it's just like I just feel like overall this was a solid puzzle piece to like the good phase of Marvel,
Yeah.
and I would not doubt their next project, whatever it is. I would feel like hopefully they've corrected their lenses, and this is the minimum barrier that we're entering, and maybe we get a banger soon. So overall, 8 out of 10. Would definitely watch again and probably recommend around spooky season for someone to watch it who didn't watch it.
Yeah. Okay.
But what would you give this one, G?
I I'm fresh off the show, so like them last few episodes was like, yo, it's on a 9. You know what I'm saying? But the
Yeah,
first episodes was like, what am I watching? But this is cool.
I would agree.
Like, where are we going with this? Like, I was more so curious than anything. But like when we first got to the road, I was like, ooh, this could get tricky. Like this could get bad real fast. You know. Um, but I think they did good, bro. They did good. So I'm gonna give it an 8. I did want to say something about what you just said though, which is I think the attitude with Marvel right now is that they have the quote unquote formula. They know what a good uh multiverse looks like, or um what would you call it, from Captain America to Endgame. Um
Phase.
Phase, whatever.
Um,
Like I don't know a better way to describe it, but like other than universe, like they have all the assets, they have all the tools, writing, that's hit or miss at this point.
for
But
sure.
I think it really depends on the subject. So with like Agatha All Along, that's super niche. You know what I'm saying? So it got treated as such where it's like, oh, they didn't blow the production budget on this joint, but they did enough to where it's like, it gets the pass of like, yo, this was pretty cool. Purple hands.
Yeah.
Like, but I think where they need to go is focus more on individuals and not so much on building out a whole nother universe from scratch.
Sure.
Because if you focus on making good projects, you know, good limited series, good movies, specific movies, the universe will build itself. Because the only thing that they're missing would be the connecting pieces in the end credits. That is what made the MCU go so crazy, because it's all connected, right? But you got to start somewhere, and you're already sitting at a point where everybody knows that you don't really know where you're going, but you know where you have to go. Like, you don't know how you're going to get there,
Sure.
but you know where you want to go with it. And you're only like, you're fighting a losing battle already, because like at this point, I feel like there's nothing really that they could make that would satisfy people to the level of what we got from Infinity War and Endgame. Because, like, unless you wipe everybody's minds again. Because now you know what it's like to experience something like that, but you've also lost all those characters that made those moments great. So until you find them again, those specific pieces that you can build around, you need to do things like this, where it's like very like clear and to the point, but focused, and double down on those types of things. That's where my vision for it would be at, but I think like this week they just really finally put the final nail in the coffin for Blade. Like, it's and definitely not coming out right now, from what I've seen. So,
and hey, maybe they need stuff like that. Like, all I'm trying to say is like this seems like a standard that they have switched around. It could just be the director, but I think they know, okay, we've tried this for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
No one knew about Agatha. No one really wanted Agatha, but we cleared something solid. We put something solid out. And you know what? If they did another series right after this, and I felt like it was an 8, maybe I'll give it a 9, because overall, this back to back, this is pretty solid stuff. And it's just an 8 for me for now. Especially coming, I watched it last week. Especially coming out, giving it a week to settle down. I wouldn't say I get the super, super, super hype feeling, but overall, I'm feeling generally good about it. Like, I like what I saw.
You feel like you didn't waste your time.
Yep. I didn't waste my time. Keep it up. Please, the next show you drop, just keep it all along the lines of this. I don't want these dips no more.
Yeah, I agree, bro. I agree. But yeah, let us know what you think about Agatha All Along in the comment section below. Chris, what you geeked about, bro?
Oh man, so we've been on a spooky tear. We got one more on the stream to finish up. It's called The Devil in Me, and then we're done with spooky season. So we're gonna wrap that up this. Yeah, I know, right? We're gonna finish that, and then I am hyped for. I don't even know if I'm hyped for a movie right now, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of spooky out there, bro.
Is it still spooky movies?
I mean, Craven looks good.
Oh man.
Craven
so I'm gonna just go with back-to-back video games. After that game, I'm beating Space Marine 2.
Okay.
I'm a huge Warhammer fan, Warhammer 40K fan specifically. If y'all know about that, pretty much Space Marines fighting orcs, demons, and aliens. And the second one dropped. I played this game probably when I was in high school, like the first Space Marine. And for 2 to finally come out, and it has my favorite freaking evil army that I'm fighting against, I'm beyond hype. I really hope the lore is good and deep. I really can't wait. And maybe they won't make a 3 because it took 10 years.
Dang.
But it's just such a good franchise. I hope they keep it up. Yeah, I'm hyped for video games right now. What you hyped about, G?
I don't even know, bro. You got me thinking.
I know. I was thinking hard about them movies. I'm like,
what movies is coming out, bro? I've seen the trailer for Craven, so like that should be cool. But Who knows? I might go see that Florida Pug and Andrew Garfield movie that
The
everybody
love
was
movie.
crying about. Yeah. I don't know. But I'm
Oh,
really I've been
they still got Sinners coming out. That scary one.
I'm not watching. Oh. But I really just been watching anime, bro. Watching Blue Lock. I mean, going through the series again. It's so much there's so much I missed just because I wasn't watching in dub. I know so much, I feel like I know so much more now than I'm watching. I'm still not caught up yet. But yeah, I started Berserk. I don't know what to
Crazy.
expect. I'm like almost done with the first episode. That's not really a good
Oh.
sign. I didn't finish it, but it's more so like, yo, this is kind of crazy. But also Blue Lock. I watched a couple episodes of One Piece, but I ain't been going crazy like I was. And then what else? I guess Industry. I'm on season 3 of Industry.
That okay.
That show freaked out, but it's good. It's a good show. Crazy first episode. And I think that's really it, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my Ohio State beat Penn State, so
Yeah, that was major.
good.
That was major.
That was good. You know, so now we looking loud. Now we just gotta beat Indiana. We beat Indiana, and then we're gonna roll over the team up north. So we gonna be looking good.
You're gonna roll
we're
over
looking
them,
good
bro.
for playoffs. But basketball's back. College basketball's back. College basketball's back. NBA been back, but I'm a little bit more hyped for college basketball.
Yeah.
But that should be fun. But other than that, man, that's really it, bro. Appreciate y'all for tuning in once again. And make sure you hit that like button and subscribe button for more. We drop these every Wednesday. And check Chris stream out, twitch.tv/ChrisyLite. You want to get spooked out. I don't even know what the next one was. The last one was aliens. Alien vampires.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. Spooky streams for now.
Yeah. So check the man out. I got Venom dropping on Friday. Venom 3. So yeah. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. We'll see y'all next week. Stay geeked. Peace.
Later, y'all.